Yeah, good morning, everyone. So, last session we discussed about what are the features of Node.js. Features of Node.js. So, we discussed what is the server side script and why we need server side script, right? So, the role of server side script, how it works. Now, after understanding the features and what is the purpose, how we can use a server side script. Actually, Node.js completely depends on JavaScript. Node.js uses the language JavaScript. So in JavaScript language, what are the concepts? What are the JavaScript language concepts? Language concepts means not DOM manipulations. DOM manipulation means get element by ID, alert, window, location, document, like that. So Node.js is using JavaScript not for client-side DOM manipulation. It is using JavaScript only as language. That means what you can use JavaScript variables, data types, operators, statements, functions, classes, only those will work here. Here you write alert or prompt, document, write, append child, they don't work. That means we are using JavaScript only as a language. So here one important note is Node.js uses JavaScript as language. So the language features include variables, data types, operators, statements, accessors. Only this. So Node.js cannot use any DOM or BOM methods. Already DOM and BOM we know. BOM is browser object model. DOM document object model. It cannot use those methods. Document dot write, document get element by ID and all. So it cannot use these options. So now what we have to learn in Node.js, because already we know language, means we already learned variables, data types, how to declare, how to work with them. Then in any server side technology, what is the concept that we have to learn? Actually, every server side scripting technology completely depends on various built-in objects. Every server-side technology depends on various built-in objects. Built-in objects are ready-made objects. So learning a server-side technology is about learning various objects. Actually, client side also, so many objects you learned. What are the client side objects you learned? You learned array object, you learned string object. String object have string methods, char at, char code at, index of. You learned array object, array methods. You learned about date object, date methods. You learned document object, location object, navigator object, window object. So client side also majority objects. You learned math object. Similarly, server side also ready-made objects are present. These objects are responsible for managing server side interactions. So we have to learn how to use these objects and design. So actually, in server side objects, Node.js server objects handle server side interactions. Node.js server objects handle server side interactions. And how to use these objects, we will see. So what are these objects and how do we work? So we will see some objects like we have so many objects, like we have OS object. So we have file stream object. We have path object. So this is operating system. And this is file stream. We have a path, the file path. So here it have objects like memory. It have the objects like another important HTTP. These are all different types of objects. So Node.js provides different types of objects like OS, like FS, file stream, like path, like memory, like HTTP. These are the objects. So what you can do is we can use these objects for different purpose. Different purpose you can use them. Now we will see some example how to work with these objects. Actually, you already learned in JavaScript, if any object is given to you, how to know what properties it is having. Last session I showed you, we can use for in operators, or we can also use object.keys. By using object.keys, we can read all the keys which are present in an object, we can do. Or we can use for in operator. Here I will show you. That means if anybody is trying to learn about some new object which he don't know, first he can know all its properties. Just by using simple logic, we can do that. So let's see how we can write. Actually now important here, Node.js server side programs. For writing Node.js server side programs, you cannot test them like HTML. Means generally how we written JavaScript. You written JavaScript inline embedded external file. Here in Node.js, actually, every Node.js program is written in .js file, same JavaScript file. you have to write in a separate JavaScript file. And just like some index.js, like that. Second point is, in a Node.js JavaScript file, all JavaScript logic will come, variables, data types, and everything. But here it uses a different module system. You remembered which module system is used by JavaScript when it is running in browser? Name of module system. Can you name some module systems? When we discussed about module, I told you some list of module systems. What are module systems available? Module systems. Module systems like CommonJS, RequireJS, UMD, AMD. Remembered? I told you that when you are using modules, modules will not work directly. Module requires some module systems. In the beginning of OOP concept, I told you. In the beginning of OOP concept, we discussed about module system. Modules needs module system. And if JavaScript is running in browser, which module system is used? If JavaScript is running in browser, then the module system used is ES. ES module system. ES is actually ECMA module system. Remember, I given a list also. So here, Node.js uses a module system called require.js module system. That is the reason importing any library is little different. Generally, in ES module system, how we import library? Import function name from that particular module name, or import class name from that particular module name. You remembered we used export and import in module system. But here what we do is, generally, Node.js module system uses require method to import library. To import any library, we have to use which method? Require. That means what you have to define, where any reference name is equal to require and module name. We have to define the module name. Actually, in ES, how we do? Import. So some name from the module name, like this we do. Like this we do in ES and other module system. But here what we have to do, where reference name and require module name. That means now this module is loaded. In that module, whatever functions are there, we can access from reference name. By using reference name, we can access the functions. This is ES module, right? This is what Node.js. This is require module. So Node.js uses this one. Node.js uses this one. That is the module system. So to import any module, you have to use this. So this is first. So every Node.js file must have extension JS. And if you want to import any module, we have to use this. Actually, what is the point is, Node is having predefined modules. It is having predefined modules, so which you can use. So without without installing, which you can use without installing. But other modules we have to install and use. Some predefined modules are there. They are already available with Node.js. You can directly use. Okay, after that, how to run Node.js program? How to run Node.js program? Generally, JavaScript programs, how we run in HTML page. We have to link to HTML page. So Node.js programs are directly compiled and executed from terminal. From terminal we do. That means what we do in the terminal, we have to just use node and index.js. That means actually node is compiler. It will compile the JavaScript program that you written in index.js and it returns output. Where you can see the output you can see in console. Console means in terminal itself. Output is displayed in console. It is displayed in the terminal, right? So Node.js output is in console. So hence the basic output method, the basic output method will be console.log here. We cannot use document write or alert or prompt like that. We can use only one. What is it? Console log. Console log or console have so many other like warn, console like error. So this is the basic output how you do. How input will happen? Input will come from client side. From client side through a HTML page, we make an input that will come to server and it will process it. Directly Node.js will not take the input. It will take input from a client. So in order to write Node.js program, you need to know all this. So let's see how we can write a simple program. And we will see one by one all these objects, right? First, I will show you how to write a sample program. Let's open our project. In this project, we will simply create one folder, open folder. Yep. In this project, we will simply create a separate folder called server. We will create a separate folder called server. And all server side programs we will keep here. Now add a new file and index.js. And this is any name you can give. I just give an index.js. And here I am writing simply console.log and say welcome to Node.js. Now how to run? You have to open this program location in terminal. Remember, you have to open this location. How to open? Right click, open in integrated terminal. Then it will open in terminal. Make sure that you are in the correct location. Sometimes you will be in separate another folder and running index.js, it will not work. You can open this here. What we have to do, you have to run node index.js. Automatically it compiles and it will give the output. And this is the output. Welcome to Node.js. So that is how it actually works. Every output, it will show in console. Later, what you do, whatever output comes, we will send to client. That means he can watch in his application. In browser, he can see. But directly Node.js manages like this, right? Now here, I will show you how to write some programs. That means nothing but I will give an example first. So first point, add new folder server, then add a new file index.js. So console.log some welcome to Node.js. After that, you have to open file location in terminal. That means you have to open the file location. Yes. So that is the base on this one. First, first one. Right. So this is the basic program. Now in this program, what are the concepts we have to learn? We need to know how to use different types of server objects. We have to learn how to communicate with database, get the data from database, how to return the data, how to interact, everything we will see now. First thing, we will see some ready-made objects that Node.js is having. So one important object Node.js is having OS object. OS object. It is nothing but it provides all properties and methods that are used to access operating system details. Operating system details. So it is means it is OS related to server, not client, not client operating system details, server operating system details. That means server operating system details means which operating system they are using, how much processor capacity it is having, how much memory it is free, how much memory it is occupied. All such details we can get by using OS. How to get client operating system details? This is server operating system details. How to get client operating system details? Which operating system client is using? How we can get? We learned JavaScript. So we can get client operating system details by using navigator object. Navigator object. I told you navigator object. Navigator object have app name, app version, app platform. Platform means it will get which operating system they are using. That means client related details, JavaScript objects will do. Server related details, server side objects will do. And what is that server side object? OS. So you see lot of details are present. All are not required for us. That is for the people who are managing operating system and all. But we need to know some details. Like suppose if anybody is uploading a file, that file must be stored on server. Then first we have to verify how much space already there in server and how much size of the file he is uploading. Then if space is not present on server, we should warn him saying that there is no enough space. So how we know server space, how much it is? How we know the server operating system capacity? That you can do like this. See, for your understanding sake, what I will do is I will open command prompt. I will change it to E drive, CD Flipkart. This is our project. In that CD server, this is where our files are present, so that I can run the file separately here. Because here in terminal, it is showing in small place. I am showing in a large screen. You can try anywhere. Now here, if I type node index.js, it will show the output. Right? So now here we you have to import OS object. And remember, have we installed any Node.js in our computer? Already in the first day we done. So that is why I don't need to show you installing Node.js, because Node.js is already a beginning of concept. That means when we started with Node.js only. You installed Node.js and you are every day working with Node.js package manager called NPM. Who is NPM? NPM is Node package manager. How it came? By installing Node.js. So Node.js is already there in your computer. You don't need to separately install. You can directly start using it. So here, OS is the module you have to import. And remember, this is also case sensitive. Capitalization matters. Now I want to know what this OS object is having. I want to know all the keys it is having. Every object means object contains keys. I want to know the keys. Let's write a program for var property, or say for key in OS. Then console.log, we will print the key. And let's run this and see now. So I will run node index.js. You see, it returns all these details. These are all operating system related details. These are all operating system related details. I will copy that and I will paste here. These are all the operating system details. So the OS object members are all these. You see all these. So these are used for getting the information about OS. See, Arc. Arc is it is used to get the architecture of operating system. operating system architecture. CPUS means CPU structure. CPU structure means which processor you are using, which capacity processor you are using, all that. That means the processor name, processor capacity, everything. Free memory means how much total space is available in your computer. Not your computer means it related to server. Host name means it will return server name. What is the server name, IP address, it will get that name. Platform means which platform they are using, which version they are using. You see total memory, how much, who is the current user info in that. Uptime means at what time it is started, server started time, all such details it will get. All are not required for you. These are for hardware people and all. Networking hardware people need all such details. But few of them we need. When we are doing server side programming, few details we need. Like what is the memory available, what is the server ID, server address, all such basic details. People who are doing networking, hardware engineering, they use these more details to understand the capacity, processor style, everything. You see now, I will write simply like this. So we are writing like this. We are writing like console.log. Okay. Suppose I am just writing here is uh, suppose CPU type, and how to get the CPU type. So os.cpus, that is the method. CPUS is nothing but CPU structure. Now you see, when I run this node index.js, it gets the CPU structure. And see the CPU structure contains again objects. Object means what? It contains again so many objects. In that object, so you see this object contains details. See, this is an object which contains lot of in all these options. That is actually, observe carefully here. This is an object, this is another object, this is another object. If it is returning these objects, that means what it is? Collection of objects. That means it is returning some array type, right? If I don't write like a method, so if I don't write like a method, it will show like this. That means it is showing some information here to you. Then it will say that this CPU type is a function. And this function is having a data reference, a result. And you see, actually, it is result is array. Result is array. And in that array, what are the details it is having? Model, speed. That means it is actually array. In that array, it is having so many details. How the details will be like in that CPU? You can see it is returning array. And you know how to read the array, right? How do we read the array? If it is returning an array CPU, then we will put here 0. 0 means it is going to return the first details. The first details is an object. Now in that 0, you can have CPU model, CPU speed, CPU times. If I want CPU model, then you can see here, it is going to display the CPU model, Intel Core i3. That means it is going to get the CPU type. So that means you can get the information, and you know how to read array. That means how we can read the array. How we can read the array? Suppose I am writing like this. What is it? So for, or you already know to read array, you can use os dot CPU and dot what map. You can read every item, and you can return every item console.log, and you can return every item. That means what it is going to do, it is going to read all the details. What is all the details? Then that means it will get all the information. So CPU model and its capacity. What is the CPU model? What is its speed? What is its time? All such information it will get. So you can use a simple map, and you can read all the details, right? First, you should know what is the type it is. Is it object? Is it array? If it is object, you have to use keys. If it is array, you have to access values by using map. Why? Because these OS related objects and other objects, they keep on changing. Some new object comes, then you have to understand what it is, how to use it, right? So I will copy this. This is nothing but how you can get the information about the CPU. This is operating system. For example, I want to know how much memory is there. How much memory? How we can get? How to get how much memory? You can use console.log here. So total free memory, how much? Total free memory, how much you can access by using os dot free mem. Free mem is going to return a number. If it's going to return a number, then it is simple. That means you can see it is going to return how much free memory is available. But actually it is written in bytes. How to convert into KB or MB? Already you know. So this is free memory by 1024. Right? So here we are displaying KB. Right? That means it is going to return how many KB. This again you can divide by, right? This again you can divide by how much? This again you can divide by how much? 1024. Then it will be in what? MB. That means it is going to return that MB. Right? This again you can divide. Right? So that means again you can divide, and you can say MB, GB. Right? The conversions your wish. By default, it will return what? Bytes. Return bytes. That is a basic point. That means by default, it is going to return bytes you can display. So KB like this it is. So we can access the client details, server details and display. This is basically done how we can access operating system details. For that, Node.js provides an object called OS. OS, right? All other properties you can try. You can just write them. You can see what it is going to return, right? This is OS object, Node.js related OS object. Next important, we have similarly another object is called path. Path object. Actually, path object is used to get the path of the file that you are currently using, any file path. In JavaScript, which object is used to get the path? In JavaScript, which object is used to get the path of current file? For that, we have a location object. Location.href, location.pathname, location.url, host name, location have hash, location have search. So we can access client path by using location, server path by using path. By using this path object, we can do that. That means what you can do here is you can configure the path object. So here, same, it provides the properties and methods that are used to access the client path, the server path. The server path. For the server path of any specified resource. The server path of any specified resource. You can get the extensions and all. You remembered I told you when we learned HTML, input type file. When we learned input type file, there I told you that we can select files. We can set restriction for files. That is not restriction, only filter. That means you can ask user have to upload only JPG file. I told you that restriction of uploading file is not done client side, because client side we will use accept. In input type file, there is an attribute called accept. In accept, you write .jpg. Then what it will do? Filter JPG files and show you. But I told you that we can change the filter to all files. Already we discussed that in HTML. So how to restrict the file? Restriction of uploading file is not done client side. It is done server side. How do we do that? By using server side objects. Server side this path object. For example, see now, let's learn about this path object, what it is having. Where path is equal to require. Require which one? Path. Now for where property in path, we are reading every property in path. Console.log property. And you can see it is going to return all properties. And see the properties it is having. Properties like resolve, normalize, is absolute, join, relative, directory name, base name, extension name, format, delimiter, everything it will get. These are the details. That means the members of path object. So these are the members. These are the members of path object. In that, suppose I want to verify the path, I want to get the extension, right? See now how we can write a logic. So here, where, first this is okay, yeah. Here I am writing again a where. So client file. Client file, it is like some file name. That means it is uploaded from d:/images // why I am using because one slash will escape printing, right? And some name is like photo.jpg. So photo.jpg. Now here we have to verify the client file path. So what we will do is var extension is equal to, by using path dot extension name, for which one, for client file we will get the extension name, and we will verify if extension is equal to .jpg, then console.log, it should say file uploaded successfully. This message we will give. Otherwise, console.log we will display you can upload only jpg files. That is the message we are giving. Now you see, when I run this program, it will say file uploaded successful. If the client file is having some png or something, then it will display you can upload only jpg. That means it is verifying. Remember, this file we will send from client browser. That we will do in next levels. From client, how he can send the file, how we can collect the file information. Collecting file, after collecting, how it is verified. That is verified by using which object? Path. Path object is used to get file name, file extension name, file type. Is it MIME type? Type means all such details you can get. These are all details of file. These are all file related details. The directory name, extension name, everything you can access. Separators, delimiters. Separator means slashes. What slash separators it is having. All that information. This is a simple example of how we can verify the files and their path. So path object is used to manage the client path. Client side path is managed by location. Server side path is managed by server. So that is another object we are having, path. So we have another object. We have fs. Actually, fs is nothing but it is a file stream object. File stream object that provides various properties and methods. Properties and methods to access any file content. To access any file content. So it is used to access any file content. You can read, write data into files. Actually, this object is present in all majority programming languages. That means, for example, you know C++, Java, .NET. In those technologies also, there will be a separate file stream object. So they have a separate file stream library. So that file stream library is going to handle the files. Already in JavaScript, you've done it. How? By using fetch, by using Ajax. By using fetch and Ajax, we have seen how to read the information from file. We done from JSON file. We done from HTML file. We learned Ajax, right? So this is going to read the data from any file and return the data, right? Here you can see the clear difference actually. So generally it provides both both sync and async methods. Async methods. It provides both sync and asynchronous methods. By using synchronous, asynchronous methods, you can easily manage. Now here you can understand and clearly see that concept also. Synchronous means what? When it is doing any work, if it is taking more time, it will not allow any another work until it finish, right? Asynchronous means along with it. Already I explained the point. Suppose we have some 3 tasks to do. So first task is suppose 7 MB, and second task is 1 MB, and third task is suppose 10 KB, kilobytes, like that. Now what happens is, when client makes a request, this request will go to first one, but first one is taking time because it is heavy. Then generally synchronous means it will wait until that is finished. After that is finished, then it will go to second. But asynchronous is not like that. In asynchronous means, if it is first one is taking time, it will immediately go to second and third. And which one is ready first, that result will come. That means the 10 KB task will come first here. After that one, after that which one? 7. That means which one is lightweight, it will display first. That is the mechanism of asynchronous and synchronous. Here you can clearly see it. Suppose see, I will create a separate folder called data. In data folder, we will create a file name notes.txt, some notes.txt. In that, what I will do, I will copy some notes. Some notes I am copying like this. And I will paste that notes here. Now what I want to do here is, I want to read this content and display. Generally in JavaScript, what we do, we use Ajax. We can use Ajax fetch. You can fetch the data from that file. In Node.js, we need FS, but FS is not already available in Node. We have to separately install. So first step, what you have to do is, you have to install FS library. So install FS library. You know, npm install FS and save. You have to download and install the file stream. That is why I said modular. Why Node.js is modular? Because it will not have all the libraries. It will have only the libraries that it is required for that particular situation. Others you have to install and you have to import and use them. So we will install that first. npm install FS and save. I am installing FS library. Okay. Now let's write the program where FS is equal to require which one? FS. Okay. Now through FS we can read. I will use 2 techniques. I will show you. Suppose here we are having console.log start reading file. That is the first line. After that, it should read the file. Then what we will do is var data is equal to fs.read file. You see read file sync is there. Sync means synchronous. That means it will not allow any another task to perform. So now which file? File path. File path is dot dot slash data slash notes dot what text. That is the file. Okay. After that, whatever data comes from this file, it is present here. But actually it returns data in binary form. We have to convert to string and display. So what I am doing, console.log data dot to string. It will display in string. Because it is a text file, it should display in string. So this is second task. Third task, console.log. Third task is read completed. Start reading and reading and read completed. So now here, how many tasks are there? This is task 1, this is task 2, and this is task 3. 3 tasks are there. Can you tell which task is heavy? Out of these 3 tasks, which tasks will take time? Second task will take time. Why? It should connect to file, read data from file, and present the data. So other tasks are lightweight. But currently, which method you are using? Sync. That means first it will make request to this one. And after making request to that, response will come. Then it will make request to this one. It is taking time. Then it will wait until it is finished. After it is finished, its response will come. After that, it will go to third one. That means you will see the result will be in the same order. First, start reading. Second, result. Third, end reading. The same order because it is synchronous way. So you see now, when I run this, so node index.js, it is synchronous way. What is the first one? Start reading. What is the second one? The file. What is the third one? Read completed. It will execute in the same order. Client side, we can do this by using generally fetch or Ajax. We can also use JavaScript Ajax or jQuery Ajax. We have jQuery Ajax also learned. We can use it, right? This is synchronous. That means this is an example of sync technique. This is called blocking technique, right? So blocking means when it is accessing, it cannot allow any other, right? We will see same with async technique. Async technique. Let's see. In async technique, only this part will change. Here, we have to use fs.read file. Read file is by default async. Read file, it is expecting path. What is the path? Dot dot slash data slash and that is notes dot txt. After that, here this read file, you can see this is read file. This read file is expecting a callback function. That means we have to define a callback function. This function will return error if there is a problem in reading, and it will return data if it is successful. I am writing shorthand way. Actually, we have to write the word function, 2 parameters. I am writing in a shorthand because we already learned arrow technique. First one is error. Second one is data. Now we will write a condition. If there is no error, then what will happen? It should print console.log it should print data to string. If there is an error, then what should happen? Console.log, it should print that error. Console.log, it should print the error. Whatever error is there, it should print. So here again, 3 tasks. So again, second task is heavy. Second task is the heavy task. What are the lightweight tasks we are having? The lightweight task, first one is lightweight. So third one is lightweight, right? Now what happens? It will make a request to first. First one returns result. After that, it will make a request to second. Second is taking time. But it is a synchronous or asynchronous? Asynchronous. In that case, what it will do is, it will keep it working in the background. It will go to the third one. Third one is ready. It will return it. And you see now, when I compile and run this, you can see start reading, read complete. And last, this message will come. Why read complete is early? Because it is lightweight. So that means now it is not waiting for the task to finish. In the background that is working, it goes to the next one. This method is called as what? Async. We have synchronous methods and we have asynchronous. So this is how it can manage. Client side reading data from file and presenting it, we do by using Ajax. Server side reading data from file and presenting it, we do by using what? So by using FS1. By using FS, you can manage. So 3 important objects are there. OS object, another one. So path object, another one, file. Now, what is the major concept here is how Node.js communicates with backend database. How Node.js is going to communicate with backend database. To communicate with backend database, that means these are all built-in objects. We have to communicate with backend database, get data from there, and we return. So how it will communicate? For that, it needs separate libraries. To communicate with backend database, we need separate libraries. So we will see how it is going to communicate with backend database. Which database currently we are using? MongoDB. For every database, a separate library is required. So actually, see. Now we will see the option Node.js connecting with backend database. How Node.js is connecting with backend database. So actually, any server-side technology, so server-side technologies require server-side technologies require database drivers that are responsible for communication with backend database. Server-side technologies require database drivers that are responsible for communication with backend database. Actually, every database driver is different. If different, that means one database driver cannot communicate with another database. That means for every database, drivers are different. A driver can communicate with only specific database. That means like we have like MongoDB driver. We have like Oracle driver. We have like MySQL driver. Like that, we have separate drivers. So SQL Server drivers. For every database, separate drivers. Now, in Node.js, you have to install those drivers in order to use. Actually, for MongoDB, we have two drivers. So MongoDB can use the drivers. One is a MongoDB driver and another one is Mongoose driver. MongoDB driver is there, Mongoose driver is there. What is difference is MongoDB driver is related to data logic, and Mongoose is related to ORM logic. I told you ORM means object relational mapping. Object relational mapping means what? It will create database, it will create tables, it will add data into tables according to client requirements. That means client tells currently I want 5 fields, it will create with 5 fields. Next time client says I want 7 fields, it will create 7 fields. I told you na MongoDB is structureless. It uses ORM mechanism. If anybody is trying to modify the database and work with the database dynamically, then he will use Mongoose. Without modifying the database structure, you just want to use it, then we use MongoDB. Means modifying database means modifying the structure. Suppose there is a table. If without modifying table structure, you want to read the table, insert data into table, update data in table, then MongoDB. Suppose you want to modify the table. Modify the table means add new fields, remove fields. Such things you have to do, then we have to use Mongoose. That means if anybody asked what is difference between MongoDB and Mongoose, right? If your work is just handling the data without disturbing its structure, then MongoDB. You are trying to modify the structure of database, which is not regular. Sometimes we do that. If we want to modify the structure of database and use it, then we will go with Mongoose. That depends how it works, right? This is basic. So for MongoDB, what we need? So for MongoDB, we need the MongoDB drivers, right? Because already we have database and we don't want to disturb the structure. We want to just use it. Then we will use MongoDB, right? So what you have to do is, first you have to install MongoDB driver. MongoDB drivers. So just we have to do npm install MongoDB save. If you want to install Oracle or MySQL or SQL Server, same commands will be there. If any change in the command, where you can find in that website npmjs.com. I told you na, all packages information is present in which website? npmjs.com. That is the website. If you want to know about the installation process of any new library that you don't do, then you can go with this, right? So It is install MongoDB and save. That is the MongoDB driver. Okay. Now, how this MongoDB driver works, how it is going to work, right? Let's see one simple one. So remember, every database, the way of communication is different. Different methods, different options, because some are SQL based. SQL based means you have to write SQL commands. Some are non-SQL, then we have to use normal. So you see now how we do that. First install. Currently, I am doing everything in index.js. For every program, you can use a separate file. It doesn't matter, right? You can compile that file. So first, let's install npm install MongoDB and save. We are installing MongoDB driver. Okay. So now Node.js can use this driver to communicate with MongoDB. So what you have to do is we have to import var. Actually, MongoDB is a very big library. It has server library, client library. We need client library to communicate with the database, right? So we write Mongo client. Mongo client is equal to, we have to, so require from where? Require from MongoDB. But MongoDB is a module. This MongoDB module have lot of classes. We need only one class, that is Mongo client class. So in that module, you can import Mongo client. That is enough. Otherwise, unnecessarily, it will import everything. So that means Mongo client class is enough to communicate with a database. Actually, MongoDB contains lot of classes. In that, which class is enough? Mongo client. That means we are importing that. Now this class related members we can access with reference of this. So first we will today see how to connect with server database. First we will connect. If connection is successful, then we can read the data, we can insert, update and delete. First we will see how to connect with the database. How to connect with the database? Simple. Mongo client provides a method called connect. So connect method, remember this connect is a promise type. You can see this is a promise type. Just so 2 months back, it was callback type. Now very recently they changed it to promise type. That's the reason if you are watching any videos, tutorials on internet related to MongoDB, you will fail in using them now. Why? Because if any video is there on MongoDB, which is uploaded 2-3 months back, and you are watching that and you are trying to practice, you will fail. Why? Because very recently, this MongoDB people changed the library from callbacks to promises. Earlier, they were using callbacks. Now they are not using callbacks. They are using promise. Callback means what? You will have a callback function on success, on failure. Promise means what? You will have then, you will have catch, and you will have finally. Now everything they change it to promise. So it is asking, connect is asking, what is the URL? What is the URL of MongoDB server? You have to type the MongoDB server URL. What is the MongoDB server URL? MongoDB:127.0.0.127.017. After that, it is a promise, then we have to use then. Then means on success. On success, what we will do, we will just put a callback function. Here we will put a message. What is the message? Console.log. Console.log connected successfully. This message we will give. This is a simple one first. That means if this connection is successful, then function will execute and we are keeping a message connected successfully. Otherwise, we have to use catch. Catch uses a callback function. This callback function will catch the reason. Reason is nothing but the error, why it is failed. Then we can print that error. Console.log. Console.log, we will print that error. That error is actually a message, complete error message. Why it is unable to connect, it will display that message. So earlier means I will tell you, if you see the notes, that means even UI batches, our previous batches, we use callbacks because at that time that version was callbacks. Recently they changed it to this. In callbacks, how do we write? We write like this: Mongo client dot connect. So here we have URL. After that, you will have a function. This function on success. After that, you have a function. This function is on failure. Like that we used to write. But now it is changed to promise. So it is using what? Then. Right? It is simple. Now let's run this and see. I will open this and we are running node index.js and you see it is saying connected successful. That means the connection from Node.js to MongoDB success. If due to any reason MongoDB server is not running, then it should show error now. Control C, stop. Let's go to services. I will go to the services. In the services, let's go to MongoDB service. MongoDB is currently running. I will right click and stop. That means MongoDB server is not running. And Node.js tries to connect. Let's run this and see again. Node.js is trying to connect to MongoDB, but MongoDB is not running. Then after trying connection, if fails, then it will get the message and it will display. Previously, the result was immediate because connection successful. Now it is trying and it shows error. And see the message, detailed message it will give. The message is nothing but Mongo server selection error, connection refused. Connection refused. That means it is unable to connect. Why? Because server stopped. Okay, let's start the server. Right click, start. Server started. Server started and server is now running. Once server is running, let's run this command again. And now it is connected successfully. If server failed, it's not working, immediately it shows message. So we have written a simple program to connect with Mongo server from Node.js. Now what we should able to do, if connection successful, we should able to communicate with a database inside that server. We need to communicate with a table in that database, read the data from the database and return. Similarly, insert data into table, update data in table, delete data from table. All CRUD operations we should able to do. If we can do all the CRUD operations logic here, now this we have to manage from the front end. From front end, we will send request, the back end will process, and it will affect on the database. First, how we can read data from a table, how we can insert, update, delete through MongoDB, that we will see in next session. Right? First, you try up to this. Then in the next session, we will learn all CRUD operations through Node.js. After that, we will build the UI, which communicates with the Node.js and backend, right? So tomorrow, you try this, all these options. On Monday, we will discuss about how do we handle all the CRUD operations. Okay, right.